Let's get it.
Oh, we're recording?
Yep.
All right, go.
Welcome to the 35th episode of the Stepback Draft Night Special. Here with my good man, Jacob Moses, Gunsmoke Jake, and back for our second week, our good friend, Total Basis Podcast host, Felipe Melecio.
I am a
How you doing,
double
brother?
threat. I'm excited, man. Thank you for having me on another week. I love the NBA draft, as I explained last week. I'm glad that you guys brought me back for back-to-back episodes. Glad that I can be helping with the show in any way. Thank you.
Absolutely. Back to back. We're going back to back. That's right.
Just like the Bulls in the 90s, man.
All right, we don't want to hear that shit.
Too bad.
Boy, thank you. Jeez.
Yeah,
Already.
so tonight is draft night. We got a lot of excitement. We've been, I know, Jacob, you've been waiting forever. And Chicago, the fourth pick in the draft. I know you guys are excited tonight.
Absolutely.
We're much closer to the start of the season. And, we're going to have a live watch when it comes on at 8. We got about 20 minutes or so left to it. But in the meantime, we had a lot of events going down when the calendar started on Monday with the trade being lifted, and it went in hot and heavy.
Yes, sir.
First, Chris Paul to the OKC from the Thunder, gaining draft picks left and right. He goes to the Phoenix Suns. Felipe, what's your thoughts on Chris Paul going to Phoenix?
Man, that's so weird. I mean, it's an improvement over Ricky Rubio, so I'll give him that. And you know how I feel about Chris Paul. You put him on any team, then they're gonna win. It might be a little bit of a shaky proposition in Phoenix, but Chris Paul, you know what I think about him. I think he's awesome. He's amazing, even at this advanced age. He's always had an old man game anyway, and he can only.
Right.
All he could do right now is just help stabilize the Suns a little bit more. They have a lot of young talent. He becomes a de facto leader, whether they want to admit to it or not. He becomes a de facto leader, the de facto floor general. Put everybody in line, keep everybody in line. And Devin Booker if he wants to, he could benefit from it immensely and elevate his game, take it to that next level. And if Devin Booker's happy, then everybody in Phoenix is happy, and that means all the other players like I said, it's a very young and talented team. They can only, benefit and improve immensely from this pickup, I should say, this acquisition with Chris Paul here.
What's your thoughts on it, Jacob?
It was perfect for them, man. We heard it towards the start of free agency. Chris Paul, it was gaining steam. And now you have somebody to run in the backcourt with Devin Booker, which makes him even deadlier. It's going to be really interesting to see, especially with these guys. And right now Booker might be dropping 30 a game with Chris Paul on the team, man. It might get serious. They might actually make a actual run.
Yeah. Like I like Rubio. He for what he does, but Chris Paul is that veteran leader with a jump shot. That backcourt mate that Booker needs. He's a pick and roll guy. Ayton, his game can only improve from there. And from what they did in the bubble, the veteran leadership, I mean, the sky's the limit for Phoenix. They gave up a lot of assets, but I didn't think it was anything of significance. The biggest name in that trade was Kelly Oubre, who really had a breakout season last year, but he goes over to OKC and continue his improvement.
Mm-hmm. But seriously, the OKC is just pretty much cornering the market with like good young players and draft picks. Man, Sam Presti knows what he's doing, man. It's just amazing. It's crazy. I can't stress enough how good that guy is at his job, and you're setting yourself up for the future. With Gilgeous Alexander, Oubre, and whoever they decide to pick. If Steven Adams could still be there for the future. He's only 28, so he still can be the guy in the middle for another 6 to 7 years, and just plus with the deal of Al Horford, hey, that's a lot they can do. They might still be able to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
And,
17 picks
oof.
until 2025.
And if I can intervene for a second, I got into this discussion with someone a long time ago about how do we judge general managers in the NBA, right? Because it's such a players' league. If you don't have an elite player, your odds of winning a championship go down. It's the equivalent of having a mediocre quarterback. Jacob and I, we know best about not having an elite quarterback for your NFL teams.
That's for sure.
But what Sam Presti here is doing is it's just amazing. I mean, if this was baseball, we would all be glorifying him right now. He'd be like the equivalent to Andrew Friedman. But since it's basketball, and I think that the championship weight is a little bit more heavier in the NBA than in Major League Baseball, I don't think Sam Presti gets the credit that he deserves for constantly just doing what he's doing right now. Is just star player leaves, well, we'll bring in more depth, we'll bring in more draft picks, and will still be relevant. Like Jacob mentioned, all those players that they have. I mean, that's good enough for them to be maybe not a real threat for a championship, but they'll definitely be a pesky team in those in the fighting for that 8th or 7th spot.
Yeah, you look at OKC, they're like a mid-market team, and they're running the equivalent like the Tampa Bay Rays. Any trade you make with Tampa, you feel like you lose. That's what it feels like with OKC. You know, you gain draft picks, they gain young talent, they will trade veterans for draft picks. Just call them the Tampa Bay Rays of basketball.
Okay. The Tampa Bay Rays of basketball. You're right.
It's truth, man. That's what it is.
And that Chris Paul trade led to a domino effect of the next one, which I guess is still pending. The Milwaukee Bucks trying to placate Giannis. Again, Pelicans did their own little heist of their own. Drew Holiday got them three draft picks, and the Bogdanovich trade is being held up because they didn't ask the guy if he wanted to go there.
I read that. I'm going, really? I mean, does it really matter? I mean, dude, you're going to a contending team. I don't want to go there. What kind of losing mentality do you have?
I do not want to go to Milwaukee. I want to stay here in California. You know, it's really what it boils down to. It's you know what happened is they didn't think it would matter what he thought until it mattered, right? Then it's like, oh, you don't want to go where we send you. It is weird. It's Bogdanovich. Who cares, right? But apparently it's a thing. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is. I've never heard of somebody not wanting to go to a contending team. This is new. This is 2020 for you.
You know what it is, Jacob? I think he knows something that we don't know. Maybe he knows that the writing's on the wall, and Giannis isn't staying here for long here. So
that could be truth. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he bounces after the season.
Maybe he knows that. And to stay in Milwaukee for a loser, and you'll have to drive like 90 minutes to a real city like Chicago. I mean, that can't be good for the guy, for Bogdanovich's future endeavors in the NBA. So I don't blame him.
How far is Toronto from Milwaukee?
I mean, you mean Buffalo? How far from Buffalo is to Milwaukee, or how far Nashville is to Milwaukee? Right? Is that what you meant?
No, definitely not. But yeah, the idea that Bogdanovich, they didn't ask him, and I mean, he's a baller, and I like the Holiday move. He is the underrated two-way threat point guard that they needed. Bledsoe is awful. George Hill is awful. You pair him up with Chris Middleton, and the sky's the limit for a well-rounded defensive team that needed some scoring punch at the point guard position. If the Bogdanovich trade doesn't work out, what's the next target that you see from Milwaukee?
Jacob?
Do they have any first-round picks? That's the only way they're going to be getting the deal done. I mean, unless you can try like maybe a DeRozan or a Buddy Hield, but Buddy's value is kind of high. So if your first pick is not involved, it ain't happening. So Milwaukee
And
better just get ready to stay where they are.
Zach LaVine, maybe, huh? Zach
Uh,
LaVine, huh?
Hell
But
no.
then, what do the Bucks have that the Bulls won? That's the other thing, right? So
That's true.
I mean, not much.
That damn sure isn't, man. They have nothing. I'm
uh,
surprised they even got somebody. But, oh
no, it's
man.
looking pretty bleak. It's looking pretty bleak for them right now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Man.
and
Ooh, hold on.
Al Horford to the Thunder. Bad move for Philly, even re-signing him in the first place. I didn't get the deal or why they did it, but again, draft picks and Denny Green. I mean, Danny Green has been passed. Danny Green has been passed around without a puff.
I'll pause, sit your ass down. Oh no.
Take Al Horford, please. That's basically what Philadelphia did.
That's
Just
what
take
they
him.
did. Exactly. It was like, listen, we'll give you picks. Just come on, do us a favor. Take them off my books. Maybe we'll go and get somebody else. But man, Leon said this from the get go. It was just bad. It was just made no sense with Embiid being there, and it just came to fruition right there because it didn't do shit. I was saying, cut it out. That shit was horrible. But yeah, it was another good deal for the Thunder. I think like now you get somebody else that can play with Steven Adams. I guess less pressure. I don't know what the issue is, but yeah. Give me a second. Give me 1 second.
No, but
Okay.
like to piggyback on what Jacob's saying, I mean that's a pretty. Even though we laugh, that's not too bad for the Thunder to have another front court presence to be alongside Steve Adams. Now we know Horford can't block for shit. He's 6'9", but he doesn't have any hops. He doesn't have any rim protecting abilities, as you know, traditionally speaking. He's no Rudy Gobert, but he can hold his own. And he stretches the floor a little bit. So, and it's a good complementary piece to Steve Adams, who's a more of a grinder down there, more of a down low kind of player. So even when the Thunder are just trying to do another team a favor, if Al Horford is going to stay in with Oklahoma City or whatever, I don't know if it's possible for them to just waive him and eat up the contract, or I don't know. I don't know if it works that way in the NBA. Probably not. But if he stays along, I mean, that's still I could see that still benefiting the Thunder for the next season as well.
Yeah, I can also see what Matt Bushnell, good friend from the Audible, he suggested that they would probably trade Steven Adams, and Steven Adams is a commodity in this league as a big man. Boston needs a big man. They got draft picks to give away. I wouldn't be surprised if Steven Adams ends up in Boston. Uh, I don't see two slow big men working in this league with the way the offense is run.
No, that's true too. Yeah, that's true too. Unless they want to go that route, which they can. Not a good idea, but they can. But no, you're right. I mean, if Steven Adams goes to the Celtics, I mean that would be so monumental for Boston as well. And again, Thunder just racking up those draft picks. Now it doesn't matter if you can rack up these draft picks and don't hit on all your draft picks, then it's all moot. But I'm pretty sure I have confidence in Sam Presti that he'll at least hit on maybe 50% of those draft picks and not look too foolish and making and collecting those first and second round draft picks.
Yeah. Plus, they have so many draft picks; they can flip a few for a star if they needed to.
Exactly. No, they're looking really good right now. I mean, if you want to tank, this is the way to tank, for sure.
Yeah. Unlike Philly.
You don't trust the process over there, Leon? What's going on?
Nah, man. They don't get me started. But another under the radar trade, Dennis Schroeder to the Lakers. I love that move. I thought I thought he was a sixth man of the year.
Yeah.
I've always liked his game from Atlanta. Solid point guard who can score, gets in you defensively, and provides another option for LeBron when he decides to kick out. I love that Schroeder move.
No, I've always been a big fan of Dennis Schroeder. I've been waiting for him to kind of come onto his own since he was drafted by Atlanta. Fast, kind of a little wacky, a little zany, but that's okay. You know, we like the attitude here. And from what I remember, he's improved his shooting as well, which was a big problem coming into the NBA. I mean, let's face it, if he hasn't been improving, he wouldn't be in this league for too long at this point, right? He'd be going back to Europe, but you know, he could be something special in terms of being that at the very worst, Leon, he could be a second unit point guard, and not many teams have a reliable one if you look at the depth charts up and down the NBA right now.
He definitely provides value, especially for a championship team. Really lessen the load for LeBron ball handling duties and as a spot up shooter as well. Now, going to get into some trades that probably won't even happen. Been a lot of rumors this week with domino effect. James Harden. To turn down $50 million a year and try to force your way to Brooklyn. I mean, I've been kind of waffling on it all week. I'll give you my thoughts in a minute, but what's your guys' thoughts on Harden going to either Brooklyn or Philly?
Go ahead, Jake. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I want this one.
Go ahead.
I want all the smoke for this one. Good. Now, I want him to go. I want him to go. Just giving y'all big three and give y'all this hope. Oh yeah, Brooklyn's gonna run the East. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that, and then to watch them crumble. And I'm gonna laugh my ass off because we know somebody is gonna get in their feelings. I don't want to say who, but I have a feeling who it's gonna be.
Kyrie.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's gonna get in his feelings. I don't know if he's not gonna get the ball enough or listen. It's just gonna be real interesting. And then I want to see how they build around the team with whatever they have left. Because they give something up. It's not going to be some, get him out of here, or to make James Harden happy. No, the Rockets got to get LeVert, Allen, Dinwiddie. Who else? Who else was in that deal?
Torian Prince.
Yep. Ew. Picks. Picks. You got to do something, but y'all got a 3-year window. That's all I'm giving y'all. After this, it's right back to the drawing board. But at least you have a window. I give you that. But you got 3 years to somewhat make some kind of move, and I don't know what happens after that, but honestly, I would make the move. Listen, you want that championship? Do it.
What would you say if he goes to Philly?
I'll laugh my ass off, actually. What the hell are they? Oh, I mean, they would have to give up Simmons. He would have to be in a deal. Maybe, man, who the hell is on that roster now? Josh Richardson?
Yeah.
Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris.
Harris not going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. Him and Embiid going to ride for the next 4 years. But, yeah, I can't see Philly either. It just and plus Harden he's doing it smart now. He's like, listen, this is where I want to go, and he's trying to orchestrate it, and you can't blame him for that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Philly roster right now on ESPN, and they don't look as deep as they have in the past. I mean, Glenn Robinson III might be the best bench player on the second unit.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, well, it's not saying much. I think Philly would rather have Glenn Robinson the second as opposed to the third at this point. But no, it's. I mean, again, assuming that this is correct, but like I mentioned last week, I'm not too positive as to how accurate these depth charts or how updated these depth charts are.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found a good one, but if this is the case, I mean, Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Mike Scott, who's injured, and Joel Embiid are your starting five with Glenn Robinson III. Something called Furkan Korkmaz. I mean, that sounds like an alien. Like Robin Williams played him in Mork and Mindy, right? Furkan Korkmaz. No, it's gonna. I'm assuming because they don't have a lot of players that they're going to be busy acquiring more depth at free agency, but it's just depth. It's not. I don't think they can do any difference makers like we've been talking about this whole time. And like you mentioned, Jacob, they might not have enough. They might not have enough bullets to go after James Harden.
No way.
Nah, that's unfortunate. Unless they get really creative, which I mean, with Daryl Morey, I wouldn't put it past him. But
Hmm.
yeah, even Morey would have to be thinking out of not just outside of one box, but maybe 2 or 3 boxes at this point.
Yeah, it just doesn't. uh, speechless.
So where I ended up going along with this Harden to Brooklyn deal, um, I say go for it because you win with superstars in this league. Now Levert, Allen, Prince, and Dinwiddie,
Mm-hmm.
you send that back to Houston, you can put them in the playoffs, in the playoff hunt right now. Granted, the roster around Brooklyn would have to, you can fill that up with guys like Carmelo Anthony and other mid-level guys where, just to fill out a roster. But Kyrie, KD, Harden, granted, they're ball dominant guys, but
Mm-hmm.
in this league of load management, I think it'll work out where you have one guy take a night off, another guy take a night off, and then once you get to the playoffs, it's full throttle.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be the most unstoppable threesome in the league.
Yeah, I do agree with
It's
that.
Derrick Rose and the sex party in Los Angeles, right? That was a foursome. Never mind. You're right. You're right. Go ahead.
I'm a big fan of Jared Allen. I think he's going to get his money, and it's going to come to the point where they can't pay everyone. But as Matt mentioned earlier in the comments, it's going to be hard to make the salaries match to try to get that to happen with Harden and KD and Kyrie to make that all fit. And as you mentioned earlier, somebody's feelings going to get hurt once, one guy has an off night or somebody's not getting the ball enough. And you plant that with a rookie head coach and D'Antoni, who's known for letting players just run wild, it could be total chaos in Brooklyn. But that's the type of roster where you can't win one championship. You got to win 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Not one, not two, not three,
Oh
not
boy.
4. Hey,
Oh boy.
it's a
But
lot, and plus it's New York.
Yeah. And if that happens, I got to kick everybody off the bandwagon. It's going to be so bad. It can be as bad as the 2015 Met run when everybody walked around the city with Met hats all of a sudden. So if James Harden comes to Brooklyn, I'm kicking everybody off the bandwagon. Nobody's allowed.
Tell him, Leon.
Tell him, that's right. You go
Tell
ahead
him.
and tell him.
Tell him.
Listen, whether we winning or losing, I'll still rock my orange and blue. You know me. I ain't messing with that Brooklyn stuff, but just like KD, I had to, let's rephrase him. Well, I didn't want that pressure on me, and coming to Madison Square Garden. Hey, it's not too far from each other. I hope you in the same state there, buddy. The pressure is gonna be there, especially with Brooklyn. The whole nuance of that Barclays Center, the pressure is gonna be even higher because now you're gonna be expected to come back 100%, BKD, and lead the team. But it's basically when you look at this, it's like the OKC team with Westbrook, Harden, and KD. That's just like it.
Just as crazy.
Yeah, can they get over that hump? That's gonna be the question. Just a bigger microscope.
I mean, this can only benefit KD though. They say that coming back from an Achilles, the players are never going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, and James Harden is still built like a rock and he's still playing all these games, I mean, yeah, there's going to be load management, of course, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, if like you mentioned, if KD can have some time off and take more load management than the other 2 guys, then Kyrie also needs his load management because he's also made out of glass. But this might actually be very beneficial to Brooklyn to have a horse like James Harden go in, night out, get the 40 points and the 10 assists and then lead that squad to wins while Kyrie and Kevin Durant are on the mend constantly. So might not be such a bad idea after all.
And by all reports, from what we're hearing in workouts, KD looks like pre-Achilles KD. So we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, if it would have ever happened, I'd be pretty excited for it. I know Levert and Dinwiddie, they're good players, but to get someone of MVP caliber, you have 3 of them on the same team. I mean, it's pretty hard to pass that up.
Yeah, you got to take it. And like I said, no matter what kind of window you have, you got to take it. And this is it. Make it happen. Get that chip. Let me see. Are you seeing Adam Silver's talking as well? I want to
Yep.
see. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm on the same. I don't want to be missing anything. I want to get the live reactions and all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing it on the
Yeah,
stream.
I'm gonna send a link in the comments if anybody want to hop on before the draft starts, get some thoughts on where their team stands and what they look forward to. I'll send the link in the comments. Hop on. In the meantime, I want to touch a little bit on what the Westbrook rumors to the Knicks, Hornets. He's damn near going to half the league. The Knicks been rumored in half the trades. Jacob, what's your thoughts on the Knicks and where they are?
They actually, I like the deal moving up a little bit. I think that second pick, the 23rd, is going to be for Isaiah Stewart because they had their eye on him for a while. It's the feelings mutual between both teams. But back up to the first, I really think they're going to try to get up into the top 5 to get Obi. I mean, that came on pretty quick. I'm hoping that happens. But the whole Russell Westbrook thing, I mean, yes, it's nice to get a star, but I don't think he would do well, with an RJ and stuff. He always had, guys around him that can shoot. The Knicks have nobody that can shoot really, besides Dotson, but he's not even on the squad right now when you actually look at it. So right now, you can't. I mean, yeah, it'll be nice. Like I said, it's half of me. I wouldn't mind Westbrook. I'm a fan. I love his game. He'll still put up his gaudy numbers, his 25, 7 and 8 or whatever. He, maybe a triple double, but we'll see. They have a lot of routes to go. I think they're in the discussions with a lot of teams. Maybe Cleveland, maybe Chicago. You never know. So we'll see. My God, KG.
Yeah, man. So we have Minnesota on the clock. They got 4 minutes to go. Holding the number 1 pick. There's been a lot of talk of them trading that pick. We'll see what happens there. LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards. Where do you guys think the Minnesota would go with this pick?
LaMelo. After that, Anthony Edwards. Oh, I'm not gonna. My heart is not in the basketball, man. You might slip because I don't know. I can't even take it. This is the kind of Nick move I can see happening now. He drops all the way down, and the Knicks go, hey, look at this guy. He dropped to us. Let's pick Anthony Edwards, and it'd be the worst damn thing of all time. I see it right now. But yeah, I will go LaMelo now after that. Anthony Edwards is a better fit, I think, because I just don't get the LaMelo Ball thing because D'Angelo Russell is a really good point guard. I'm not getting having a LaMelo Ball there, but hey, it is what it is.
The only way this makes sense is a LaMelo Ball is just going to be there to distribute the ball, and D'Angelo Russell becomes kind of like the off guard. But then you still got Malik Beasley. I think James Wiseman might be the play here, as that'll allow Karl Anthony Towns to move to the number 4 position. I don't know if that's what he wants, but other than that, maybe James Wiseman, if the T-Wolves get this prospect, he'll be a long-term project. So, but from all intents and purposes, according to Woj, they're trying desperately to get out of this position down to the last minute, down to the wire. They don't want any part of this. It seems like nobody wants to be in the top 4, top 5. This is what I was talking about. I was talking to my buddy Matt Bushnell of the Audible. I tell him, man, this is why tanking is never guaranteed. This is what happens when tanking goes wrong. Now you got all these teams that did all they could to lose on purpose are now having some regrets. It's like these are the players. Crap. Anybody want this? I don't want it.
This is crazy. Oh, I got some news. Clay Torrey's Achilles. Now, will that change it now? Will Anthony Edwards be in play for Golden State.
Yeah,
He
that one.
tore his Achilles. That sucks, man.
Oh, is that for sure? Because earlier it was just it was just they were just saying there was a leg injury. Is it really now officially the
Yeah,
Achilles?
I saw on NBA source. We know that Clay Thompson's injury is simply not good. And then I saw tore his Achilles. So let me. Wow, you gotta be
Wow,
kidding. You gotta be
that
kidding.
sucks.
What?
Yeah, because part of the big deal for the Warriors was, hey, everybody's coming back healthy next year, so we're good to
Mm-hmm.
go, and we don't even want this pick anymore. And you're right, they might have they might have a second opinion about this number 2 spot that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, Anthony Edwards. I mean, if they want a player that can step in right now, Denny Avdija, and pray to God that they take him away from the Bulls. Yeah, that I mean, and if anything, they can always drop down a little bit and get one of those other point guards, those
Mhm.
combo guards that we talked about last week, and go from there. But man, that sucks for them. That really sucks.
Oh man, that.
Yeah.
15
To
seconds, by
try
the
to
way, you guys.
whew, to try to get someone of that caliber, two-way player, efficient shooter. I mean, Curry's right-hand man. Matt mentioned Zach LaVine. You guys are really trying to get rid of Zach LaVine. I mean,
Yeah,
you guys are
Y'all
working
crazy.
hard to do it.
I,
I still think Bradley Beal's in play.
yeah, but I just yeah, that's true. But I think honestly, I think they go Anthony Edwards because this it's too logical. It's too logical. They're like just get your two guard, let D'Angelo rock at the point, and go with it. Just Minnesota's known for fucking up picks too, so gonna be
it's gonna be
now that
interesting.
it is. Go ahead.
Well, we're still kind of anxiously awaiting. I haven't seen Adam Silver get up there.
This is just so weird. I missed them going up on a stage and then like this.
Well, it's COVID, man.
I
This
know
is 2020.
this is crazy, man. Fucking up lives.
It's a hell of a way to start the decade, by the way. 20 people are saying, "Well, it's just 2020." No, it might go into 2021 as well, and maybe 2022, and
Nah,
then
we might
Michael
go.
Jordan's number 2023.
Man, we might go back into 2020. It might not change after the clock strikes. Jay Williams. I think he's another one that could have been really good if he didn't have that injury.
Here we go, guys. Adam Silver.
All right.
Gonna raise up the volume a little bit, but not too much to distract. There you go, Jacob.
There it is.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Has a painting of what looks to be his grandma, maybe. I don't know. Two women. Paintings of two women, probably family members who are no longer with us. And what a moment. It's a hell of a moment. I'm a sucker for this type of stuff, as you guys can tell. Look at him. Look at him. I hope he likes basketball now.
No, you better, man. You number one. It's your livelihood, man. You better go with it.
Yeah. I wonder if he wanted to play in Georgia. Maybe he was hoping that the Atlanta Hawks can get him somehow or
It's
another, right?
possible.
Well,
I
he's going to
mean,
Minnesota. How do you feel, man?
This is actually, I still rock with them. I wanted to do well, you know, but let's see. They got a young squad, man, with Towns, Russell, Bees. Their whole lineup is just it's talented. But I mean, he better bring it. I ain't like a lot of fans in Minnesota anyway, but um, but yeah, hey, just from Atlanta to Minnesota, it's gonna be different for that kid. The weather's different. I
Yeah,
mean,
the weather.
the expectations they shouldn't be as well. It's going to be high because he's the number one pick. But man, all you really got to do is score and give a damn on defense. That was his biggest thing in school, and shoot a little bit better at the free throw line. But hey, you show that you give a damn on defense, become a nice little two-way player. You got an all-star on your hands, and but yeah, the talent is there. It's time for them to make the playoffs again. If they don't make the playoffs with this roster, I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's a tough conference, Jacob. So don't hold your breath. But really quick, as we mentioned last week, Anthony Edwards, shooting guard out of Georgia, 6'3", 225 pounds. He has the power, length, explosiveness. I really liked him as a prospect, but it seemed like as the weeks came on, or the days went on, it sounded like his what do you call it? His stock kept dropping for whatever reason, and usually because of his own accord, bad workouts and stupid things that he says. But I mean, the thing is that he's a versatile scorer,
Hmm.
versatile defender. Is learning how to facilitate and get others involved. He's not going to have to in Minnesota for too much because of,
Hmm.
like you mentioned, D'Angelo Russell's there. The weakness is that he lacks court awareness. He's very inconsistent, very streaky shooter.
Hmm.
Defense wanes. That's why I compared him to James Harden, just because of the pedigree and the lack of defense kind of thing kind of made me giggle. So and of course, NBADraft.net compared him to Dwayne Wade, which I think you guys agreed last week was a better comparison.
Yeah,
James Harden. He's
way
being
better.
interviewed right now. But so yeah, good for him, man.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty cool. It's always
Yeah,
no, go ahead, bro.
yeah, it's exciting to be the number one pick. Like you say, Minnesota's a much different feel than the rest of the NBA. I have an issue with how Minnesota develops their players. They had a similar player to this in Andrew Wiggins, who they gave a max contract to and dealt him away. So if you look at his type of skill set, I mean, it sounds like they feel the need. If it were me, I probably would have went Ball if I were Minnesota.
Mm.
But it's a new regime up there.
Hmm.
I hope the kid does well, and maybe prove some people wrong.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
I really like him, man. I really like him. This is, I'm questioning his, what everybody else is questioning, right? Is his determination and his want, right? Or if you're in Chicago, if you're a White Sox fan, his will to win, I guess. But
Yeah.
everything about him just screams like, yeah, he could be the guy.
Hmm.
He could be that person. I mean, this draft lacks um, an explosive scorers like that, and he cornered the market on that, and that's why he's the number one pick.
Hmm. Absolutely. And now we get if the
So
Warriors. I mean, what do you think? I think they go Wiseman. I mean, you need that. You need that center. I mean, and plus I want to see the MJ LeVar Ball thing. That's must man. That's gonna be glorious. Just see it. Man. Yes. Everything come back to bite MJ. Just I love that shit.
You don't have
Yes.
any Warriors fans in here, man?
Yeah. Where's Corey? I know. We gotta get somebody in here. I mean,
Terrible.
did you post the link up, Leon?
well, I did, but you know how Warriors fans work. They only show up when they're winning, and
That's
nowhere to be found when they lose 50 games a season. So
uh-huh.
we believe you.
Warriors. Yeah. You need more people. No. but yeah, I definitely go Wiseman. I mean, why would you go? Well, you never know. Ball, and hey, he come in, stay in the state, his home state, man. Hey,
I, I I think their need for a big man is just
is
way too pressing, and
it's
he's the
right
best big
there.
man here.
Yeah,
It's too obvious.
it would shake up the draft. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I agree
Shake
with
the
you
room.
guys. It seems to be the way to go, but with Klay Thompson being hurt,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. They might surprise us and maybe trade down and try to get one of those other combo guards like I mentioned. Otherwise, yeah, it makes sense to get James Wiseman. But I just the thing with him is that they were trying to move out of this
Yeah.
position this whole time, and I'm just wondering how much do they really like James Wiseman to not want to be in this position to draft James Wiseman to begin
Mm-hmm.
with. So that's something to be concerned with. But anything can happen tonight, man. It's I mean, we already got shocked by Anthony Edwards getting picked by Minnesota, so to speak. So nothing will surprise me at this point
Nah,
in the 2020 NBA draft.
I know this is pretty exciting, man. That's always exciting. You just don't know. There's so many prizes. Like I said, I think this draft is deeper than what people know of. Like if you do your research on them, it's
Yeah.
pretty deep. I mean, a
Or if you
lot of
listen to us
guards
last
here.
week,
Exactly. See, follow Felipe in his spreadsheets. He came and killed it with that. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, but man, this is gonna be real interesting. Come on, be smart. Just get Wiseman. Get your center of the future. Maybe.
Matt Matt also reporting that Bogdanovich has rejected the Bucks trade, so he will be a restricted free agent. So
Ooh.
that that's a setback for Milwaukee. I'm almost certain he'll get paid, but
Hmm.
it's a bit shocking to me.
And you're seeing Matt Bushnell also campaigning to for the Bulls to get rid of Zach LaVine by any means necessary, either to the Warriors or who else, or Milwaukee. Just get rid of him already. So he's working the phone, so to speak,
Come
for the
on,
Bulls at
Matt.
this point.
Come on, Matt. The kid really showed progress, man. Like,
No, I think
I,
he's part of the problem. I think
I,
he's part of the problem in
man,
Chicago at this point.
man, y'all were proud of the problem, man. You don't hear
No,
that
man.
nonsense.
We
Hear that
see
shit.
how, I mean, there's a guy's averaging about what, 25, 5-5,
25, yeah.
and his team still sucks.
That's hey, whose fault is that? Y'all had
And
Markkinen couldn't stay healthy. I mean, Wendell Carter Jr. same thing. I mean, you
hey,
gotta
listen,
give a
man,
break.
we don't make excuses for anybody else. All right, so I mean, we piss on James Harden every chance we get, and that guy, all he does is produce. And you guys are questioning his TWTW, his will to win, and now he's going to go to Brooklyn or Philadelphia, and you guys are like mocking him. So this is the reason. Oh, here we go. I interrupt you because Adam Silver's on the screen. I'm going to raise the volume up a little bit higher.
Come on, that's wise, man. Which means we're gonna get LaMelo Ball in good old
There's
Charlotte.
James Wiseman.
Yeah,
He's
buddy.
relieved. He's relieved.
Yeah, he's a woo. Thank
He's
you, Lord
happy.
Jesus. So thank you, Lord. Oh, it's the MJ and Ball show, boy. It's gonna be fire.
I mean, listen,
Fire.
no, nobody wants to go to Charlotte.
I-
Why not? They can get an endless supply of Jordan brand shoes and stuff.
That's what
Isn't that part of the allure?
I guess. Poor guy. All right, man. It ain't.
So the Hornets,
So,
right? We haven't been talking about them as much, but LaMelo, right? I mean, this is it right here. It's either LaMelo Ball or
Oh, they going Lamelo.
no. But there was a player that Jordan really liked in this draft, and I can't remember who it was. Was it
Probably.
LaMelo or was it somebody else?
I think it was somebody else. He likes bums. He can't draft for shit anyway.
That's terrible.
I'm sorry. Great as he was, go. Like I said, my go of my whole being of living. Yeah, that's the goal. But as an executive, that shit just went out the window. I'm not sorry. He is trash. I don't know. Maybe just I don't get it. I just can't even explain how bad he is as a Kwame Brown. What? Who else did he pick? Adam Morrison. What?
Oh yeah, that's all him right there.
Who
Hey,
else?
listen, this is why he didn't do shit without Jerry Krause. There, I said it. I said it. He's a horrible talent evaluator. If it were up to him, the Bulls would be having Walter Davis and Charles Oakley, and he never win a championship. There, I said it. Truth hurts. That's the bottom line because that's what happened. And now look at him. Look at him as being the talent evaluator. He can't do shit. Yeah, and it's actually he wants LaMelo Ball, so maybe he gets his wish and maybe he. Oh, look at James Wiseman crying. That's all. I like seeing that, man.
Yeah,
That's the passion, right? That's the passion we're looking for, right there.
that's what I'm
There it
talking
is.
about. I'll be crying
There it
too.
is.
Oh, thank God. I'm not going to Charlotte.
Oh, thank God I'm not going to Minnesota, bro.
Yeah, I know him too. He's like, whoa, shit. I get to go to a winning organization.
I love seeing that, man.
like,
Yeah.
I'm looking for that stuff.
so like, what also doesn't make any sense is, okay, you had Kimber Walker there.
Mhm.
You actually did draft him. Now,
Mhm.
Oh, that's
we
true.
didn't pay him. He didn't pay him. Now he wants to try to bring in Westbrook, a much older version who can't shoot
Hmm.
for more money. Like, what are you doing?
Well, you know, he loves Russell Westbrook. I mean, he probably sees Russell Westbrook, and he probably sees a lot of himself in Russell Westbrook. When we all know that, from watching the Thunders and now the Rockets struggle to get far in the playoffs.
Hmm.
I don't want to say it, but Russell Westbrook hurts himself more than he actually helps himself, right?
Hmm.
And but it's this hero ball bullshit, right? That Michael Jordan still believes. Like, people still believe that Michael Jordan won those 6 championships by himself, and Michael Jordan probably believes his own hype that, hey, if I bring this guy in, I can win I can probably get my franchise to win a championship finally. I have a good player there, and yeah. It really, that's what it boils down to. It's this hero bullshit mentality that it doesn't work in today's NBA. It never worked. It's just a better narrative for people who like to oversimplify things. And
I agree with you. Look, see, we agree. Well, that's the one thing. Yes, Jordan was great, but everybody, I hate the whole. Oh, he played with this person. He wasn't that good. I mean, Scottie Pippen was great in his own right. You had Steve Kerr's in the league. Steve Kerr was like a career 45% shooter. So was John
Mhm.
Paxson. He had,
Yeah, I'm sure.
let's put it like this: they had perfectly constructed teams. Everybody did their role. Everybody played their role to the T, and that's why they were so good. I mean, the best team assembled. It wasn't the prettiest, but everybody played a role. When Luke Longley is your five and Bill Winnington is backing you up and you're still winning championships, you're obviously doing something right. You got something right in the next
Yeah,
four positions. You know,
yeah.
Ron
Jerry
Harper.
Krause, doing some analytics in basketball right there. He always a three-headed monster at center, never a super. And a league full of superstar centers. We had a bunch of scrubs back there, and they were holding their own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, man. That's not all Jordan right there. That
Nah.
it's a team sport, and that's all I'm gonna say because we talked about this numerous
Oh,
times on this podcast, and the Bulls fans are getting mad at me already. So I'm gonna just I'm
nah,
gonna
hit him.
stop before I
Hit
hurt
him
their
with it.
feelings.
Hit him with the guns.
No, no, no. They
I'll
gotta,
give you a counterpoint. Russell Westbrook won his MVP playing hero ball because yes, he was the only star on the team, but he was allowed to do his thing, and that's when he's at his best,
Mm-hmm.
when he's on a team full of role players.
That's why I think half of me like, oh man, the Knicks could actually do something, but I don't trust it because they probably want a boatload, and the Knicks are actually thinking, I, man, this 2020 might have been shitty for everybody else, but for Met fans and Knicks fans, hey, it might be looking up. All right, it might be. I'm not gonna get all too hyped, but it's a little bit in my chest saying, man, we getting there, we getting there. But
well,
yeah, this got to be LaMelo Ball.
speaking of getting there, yeah, LaMelo Ball to the Hornets. Jordan gets his guy. We've seen what Jordan likes, and when we've seen Jordan get his guy before, so maybe the 20th time is the lucky charm for him. I don't know,
Mm-hmm,
but I
mm-hmm.
mean, whatever. I mean,
Look,
listen,
he don't look happy.
I thought he was pretty happy. Well, LaMelo?
Nah, his dad. He got the fake smile on. He like,
Well, he also
mm.
has a mask on. He's being responsible. He's being socially distant, right? He's
Oh no, you could just tell. Like he's like, I want him to go
his
ahead.
teeth, his mouth is so big, you can tell when he's smiling through an opaque mask. Is what you're saying
Hmm.
here? What the hell? Oh,
Nah,
look at LaMelo trying to dunk. That's so adorable. Yeah.
yeah, he. I don't. I'll say it right now. I just did. He somewhat grew on me. I still don't like his game. His shot pisses me off. I mean, you're not gonna be Steph Curry in it because you don't got it like that. So if you've seen him, yes, please look at these college highlights. Now tell me if half of this shit gonna work in the NBA. I hope they show some of those highlights.
It's actually Australian Basketball League rules right
Oh
there, brother.
yeah, no. Oh no. I'm talking about the Chino Hills one when he was actually in high
Oh,
school.
oh, he's like
Those
college. My bad. He's like
yeah,
college.
yeah. Nah, my bad. But yeah, he finally dunking. Yeah, you get a tech for that. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's
Really
what.
quick, Leon, you mind if I recap the last two picks?
Yeah,
Just
go ahead.
remind the folks. Okay, so let's go back with James Wiseman. James Wiseman, big frame, 7'1". I mean, you guys already saw some of the highlights there on the television, but yeah, explosive, agile. I mean, you guys heard me last week. I was super excited talking about this kid right here,
Mhm.
7'1", 240-pound. Potential franchise center. He's still learning the game though, and he has a very questionable motor, but probably being in college, he's probably just bidding his time before he gets to the NBA. But we'll see what happens because in the NBA, that shit gets exposed. I thought he could be the next Dwight Howard. NBA Draft.net has him as the next Hassan Whiteside, which once again you guys sided with NBA Draft instead of with your boy here. So with LaMelo Ball coming from the land down under. 6'7", 190, so he needs a little bit of bulk in him, but he's a great ball handler, as you guys saw the highlight. Oh, look at LeVar Ball playing football. Okay, and he could be Michael Jordan, right? He was rated as the number one prospect. LaMelo was, according to ESPN. Creative, great size for a point guard, but one of his weaknesses that I mentioned was his dad, for obvious reasons, and that's the reason I don't like him. But other than that, I like his game. As far as traditional point guards go, he lacks strength because he's scrawny. He's weak on defense because he's a ball. But he could be a franchise point guard like Jason Kidd, or even like what Lonzo Ball was projected to be back when he was a prospect in the draft. And the NBA Draft.net, which once again you guys sided with, Sean Livingston is the
I,
comp here.
I like
So
it.
yeah.
Oh,
So now we get to the Bull. Well, all my
So
favorite guys got selected, so
here
I
we
don't know. I
go.
think they're gonna go
Here we
with
go.
Benny Adija.
I think they. Oh
Uh,
yeah, they better
uh,
not. They can't go Obi. That would just be stupid unless y'all trading somebody.
I'd rather have Obi. I mean, just from because he's more athletic and but
I.
I don't know. Denny has skills, but he's very limited. I
Mm,
mean, he's never going to improve more than he is right now. So that's
mm-hmm.
my only concern, and it'll be another safe draft pick by the Bulls. But you
Yeah.
you might not have a choice here. Um,
But I also heard they like Patrick Williams out of Florida State too.
yeah,
I.
Matt is heavy on Pat Williams. We spoke a bit about Pat Williams last week. Recap a bit on your thoughts on Pat Williams.
yeah, Pat Williams. Oh wait, the pick is in. Let's wait. Let's
Okay.
wait. Let's see what Adam Silver is saying.
It got to be that at Denny because you need a small forward anyway.
Yeah.
An actual playmaking small forward because you got to do something with Carter and Laurie. So
Well, you guys called it. Patrick Williams from Florida State, small forward, 6'8", 225 pounds, a different type of small forward. Regardless, the guy has length, 7-foot wingspan, great size, great speed, good shooter. This is a big upside pick for them. This is a lot better than getting Denny
mm-hmm.
Avdija. I mean, as much as we like the guys with the high skills, I mean, it's always good to have the guys with the upside and the athleticism.
This shook the room. I think this is gonna now start a little spiral because Patrick Williams he actually shot up the freaking board.
Yeah.
He was projected like 15 into the 20s. So
ESPN had him at number 9.
really,
Yeah, last week
Yeah.
when we were on, we did the
I
episode together. We he was number 9 last week.
holy, I thought he was
Uh,
in 15 to 20 when I first looked at it. Not ESPN because I usually don't look at it, but wow.
yeah,
I,
but there's a downside to his game is he's still raw on offense. He's still learning. He's a very sloppy player. Same thing with James Wiseman, inconsistent motor, but who knows, right? That could be him just trying to be getting out of college in one piece since they don't play their players
mm-hmm.
down there. So 3 and D combo forward like Jeff Green. I compared him to Jeff Green.
Mm-hmm.
NBADraft.net compared him to OG Anunoby. Sorry. So Patrick Williams. You know what? This is a nice little surprise. I like it. It's a long-term project, but I mean, at least they're not drafting for right now or to fit a need, as we talked about numerous times last week. It's always dangerous when you're trying to draft for need in the NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that picking for upside is any better, but I mean, when you have a guy like this guy, 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, I mean, that's a lot better to be excited for
Mm-hmm.
than the guy who's scrawny and gets pushed around and
Mm-hmm.
he's a try hard but doesn't have much in his game. So, but we'll
Mm-hmm.
get to Denny when he gets selected. I mean, he's gonna get selected
Oh
sometime
yeah, for
soon.
sure.
So we'll
This
see.
means the Knicks might have just lucked out on something, but we'll see. If
They might get
Cleveland,
Denny.
I wouldn't be surprised because a lot of Knicks fans I know they're high on Denny.
Yeah.
I gotta see him play more. I've seen a little bit of him, but I don't know. You know, me and foreign guys just don't. I, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know the kid's skill, but you get to New York, it's a whole different animal, man. It really is. But Patrick, so I mean, oh, he is a small forward though. So I mean, at least they actually
Like a,
stuck with the position. He could play power
yeah,
forward
he's
too.
like a 3/4.
Hmm.
If you look at his numbers from Florida State, the 9 averaging 9, 2, and 2,
Hmm.
disregard those numbers.
Hmm.
You know, he's a 3 and D guy. Like you say, a lot of upside, but still raw. Uh, I think I don't think it's as bad as the reach as Trubisky is.
Hmm.
Or if you're going to look later
I just
on
caught
down the
that.
line, if you're going to look later on down the line, saying if you had a Watson or a Mahomes, in this case, Obi or Devin Vassell,
Mm.
I think you will be pleasantly surprised. This is a solid pick.
Yeah, it's definitely solid. Florida State ran a system where everybody got the ball. It was no, main guy on the team, like you said, with Vassell, another 3 and D guy. They breed 3 and D guys, man. It's just the way of the world for them. But solid pick for the Bulls. It shocked me. I mean, I saw him climbing up there, and I heard it at the end where, oh yeah, we might pick him. They're really hot on him, but hey, more power to you. Give
Yeah.
Kobe White a chance. At the beginning of the whole draft, I'm like, oh, they might pick point guard. They might not give him a chance, but hey, let him rock. And you gotta. He plays D. Wendell Carter can play defense. I mean, that thing shadow. Laurie Markkinen's shortcomings on the defensive end. So, Hey,
And it's
you
a
gotta
tall
be.
lineup too, man.
Oh
In the front
yes.
court, it's a pretty tall lineup.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the other thing with the Bulls is if they were really looking for a small forward, there was also Isaac Okoro, but I think there's a foot issue with him, right? Is that the guy I heard about?
Oh, that's on Kongwu, right?
A
Oh, okay.
Congo.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, I got my players with the letter O's confused here. But Okoro is a different type of player, though. However, he's more of
Hmm.
a defensive specialist, and I mean Patrick Williams. I mean, I know Bulls fans are. I see the comments here; they're not too thrilled with this, but I think we lucked out here, guys. I think we'll be fine. Listen, nobody here is gonna put you over the top, as we mentioned last week. Nobody outside of the top three guys who went top three, not in the order that we expected, but they went top three anyway.
Hmm.
So
Right.
at this point, you just have to draft, for upside and hope for the best, and hope that Billy Donovan will coach these players up, Patrick Williams up, I should say. But Matt Bushnell, I want to mention that he said that the only reason Michael Jordan drafted LaMelo Ball was so he could play LeVar Ball one-on-one.
That's probably true too. Jordan's an asshole, so I can see that happening. Like,
Oh,
oh,
he's a
dad,
giant asshole,
I'm
yeah.
gonna bust
But
your daddy's ass just to do it.
I took it personal.
And I took that personally.
He's going to ask for the whitest jeans, and I'm going to beat him with these jeans. So
But
I want him this big.
after I had to reiterate what Matt said though. The Cleveland was talking to the Knicks for a while. The Knicks are really pushing for Obi because he's a CAA client. Leon
Yeah.
Rose coming from that. So you never know, will he get his guy? The pick is in. I don't think he get him. I think he stays in Ohio and goes to Cleveland. Becomes a really good
Uh,
player. Piss me off.
if the
Um,
Knicks get him, man,
I
that's a really good pick. I like Obi a lot.
I like OBS. That kid can do everything on the floor. That's Amari with the 3-point shot in my eyes. And plus I'm a homer for my city. He's from Brooklyn, where I was born, so that's pretty awesome. You know, we hopefully he can.
Well, like Kevin Durant.
Anyway, he's from like what is he from? What is he from? Maryland? Who cares? Anyway,
Well, I mean, Melo's from Brooklyn.
I know Mello, man. I'm Money Mello, man. Just Bree ballers. But yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping it actually can happen, but I don't know. Well, why would you pick Obi too? Like you have to basically, you got to get rid of Love. You got Drum. Well, Drum is going to play center, but Love is there. Like nobody's taking that contract. So what are you going to do with that kid? You're just going to make him sit. You're going to play him out of position. Like it's weird. But
Well, I mean, they're two different types of players, right? Obi's
mm-hmm,
more explosive. I mean, we talked about it. He's just athletically gifted.
mm-hmm.
And Kevin Love, since his days in UCLA, he had no hops. I think he has like a
Nah.
1-inch vertical.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I
He's
mean, it's a
crafty.
yeah. And again, I mean, you can draft for help now, or you could draft for
Yeah.
upside later. And I mean, I just got ecstatic because the Bulls picked for upside later, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's what all the other teams are going to try to do right
Yeah,
now in the
best
top
play
five.
available. Absolutely, I do agree with you.
Which
And the difference with that, Billy Donovan is the coach.
I
Mm-hmm.
think Okoro just went to the Cavaliers.
Wow. Whoa.
Wow. Really quick, the number 7 prospect according to ESPN, as far
He's
as
dropping.
last week.
He's going to the Knicks,
Um,
I think.
oh, I am shocked. We just mentioned, wow, we just mentioned him, right? And then now he's, holy crap. Went to Auburn, obviously, 6'6", 225, small forward. Defense is his game.
They
Very
needed it.
raw, but optimistic. His game might improve on the offensive side. Impacts the game without scoring. I mean, we need players like that, right? I don't know if they're top 5, top 6 worthy, but we need players like that. His weaknesses, can he score consistently in the NBA? He's a terrible shooter. Could have used another year in college, but then, if you stay in college, your stock drops.
Mm-hmm.
So he's damn if he does, damn if he doesn't. He's
Mm-hmm.
a versatile two-way role player in the mold of what I compared to was Stanley Johnson. NBA draft compared him to Caron Butler. So
Damn, man.
if he gets like any offensive game to the tune
Oh,
of
he's gonna be
Caron Butler,
dangerous.
I mean, he consider himself lucky if that's the
Oh,
case.
absolutely.
It sounds like he has a ways to go, and this is going to be another up. Like we mentioned, it's an upside pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so and it's fine if you're the Cavaliers. It's a nice little pick that you got yourself here. But yeah, and like Jacob was mentioning, Obi would have been a more exciting pick if I'm a Cavs fan. I mean, the hometown kid comes back home, more explosive, has some offensive upside. But yeah, I mean, at least Okoro can maybe steal some minutes, some
Hmm.
consistent minutes in the Cavaliers. So maybe that's part of the reason. Maybe they are drafting a little bit, not just for upside, but also a little bit for right now. Maybe
Yeah,
they think, especially with Kevin Porter getting in trouble as well. So,
hmm
maybe that was a motivation, was to find Kevin Porter's replacement. We'll see.
it could be, and also they need a small forward. They really don't have a small forward, and I never even thought about that. They played absolutely no defense, and so this makes sense. And I'm shocked, but heading to Atlanta, they might need a point guard. They're not getting a power forward because they got Leon's boy John Collins there, so they're not going power forward. And Detroit got Blake Griffin, so it's looking kind of good for me right now.
I
But
mean, Detroit's trying to move Griffin.
yeah, and they're not gonna move him. They can't. Who you
Yep.
traded for? Who was traded for him? Bum knees and up. And as much as I love Blake Griffin,
Yep.
much as he improved his game with his jumper, his 3 point, I'm proud to see him do that. But hell no, nobody's taking that. And plus, I'm thinking they like Okongwu because you got rid of Drummond. You got rid of
Okay.
Drummond, so you can come around. You get your center of the future. You're paying him on a rookie deal. You never know. But yeah, this is getting real interesting. This draft all about, man. This is
And
what I'm
the
talking about.
Hawks, I'm surprised they would want to stay here, but they might just go after another high upside guy
Hmm.
right here, because Hawks, they don't look too bad right now. If the depth chart at ESPN is accurate, I mean, with Trey Young, Kevin Huerter, I'm butchering his name, sorry, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, and then Cam Reddish coming off the bench, Dwayne Dedman, who also did some things, Jeff Teague as your backup point guard. Again,
Hmm.
I'm assuming this is all correct over at the Worldwide Leader.
Hmm.
So that way no one can blame me for using the wrong information. If ESPN has it wrong, that's on them then.
Hmm.
But at this point, yeah, might as well go for the high upside guy. Maybe they're the ones who get Obi Toppin.
It's possible. And Matt Bushnell, thank you for the, he's bringing them in. They're saying they might go Okongwu. So hey, let's see it. Cause I'm maybe he's quicker than everybody else, but hey, if they do that, it's fine with me. But let's.
Atlanta, yeah, Atlanta's been trying to move out of this spot forever.
Hmm.
You heard multiple rumors of Gordon Hayward. They tried to get him for Gordon Hayward. Um, free agency, free agency starting on Friday. They're looking into
Hmm.
getting some veterans in like Rondo and
Hmm.
Gallinari. So
But they need a
Atlanta's in a
point
good
though.
spot.
But I can see them picking a point too. I mean, maybe like a Hayes, but let me see what Matt said before.
Hmm
He said, I think
Well,
he said something about Hayes, but
yeah,
that's
going to
another
the
one.
Pistons. Bushnell
I,
says Hayes going to the
I
Pistons.
can see
Look
that
at
they need a
Bushnell
point.
today.
They need. I
No
love
football
Matt.
on tonight,
This
so
is what
he's
I'm talking about, Matt. Right.
no football on tonight, so he's gonna go
He,
full NBA mode.
that's what I'm talking about. You talk about that guy is versatile. He's mobile, agile,
Let's do
hostile.
that. Let's do Matt Bushnell scouting report. Let's do that. Versatile, agile.
The pick is in. Let's see. Now I'm thinking of Kongwu. I mean, I'm thinking because they got rid of. I mean, I don't know. Well, no, they got Capella, right?
Yeah,
According to
Atlanta can
ESPN, the
go so
Hawks.
many ways.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, they can go point guard is trade, but they can get a off guard. The Halliburton would make sense for them too.
I was just thinking that.
Halliburton makes a lot of sense for them. So I want to see this, but man, could this be life that the Knicks have to get stuff falling their way? I've never seen this happen before. I mean, but no, it's always the one pick away. I don't trust anything because the one pick away always happens. And maybe I'm the only reason I really want Obi. I'm not even gonna lie. It was Obi, and I'm hoping for like a Kira Lewis or Cole Anthony. Screw you other Knicks fans. I want Cole Anthony. I do not care what you guys say. And I'll say it right now. Give me Cole Anthony. I'll be happy. But we'll see. But
Speaking of rumors, they're saying that Ricky Rubio might be back with the Timberwolves.
Ricky Rubes.
What the hell? All right.
I,
Maybe
well,
that's why they didn't pick LaMelo Ball.
I guess. I mean, that,
As a pure point guard, it worked for them, but he's improved his shooting over the years, and he would work well next to Russell. I I mean, I still don't see Minnesota contending with all
mm-mm,
that young talent, but
mm-mm.
Rubio as a veteran presence in that locker room wouldn't hurt them.
Nah, not at all. I've always been a fan of Rubio. Even when he came out, you knew he was going to be a great playmaker. He showed that in Spain. You know, his 3-point shot has come a long way. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
he never was a shooter, and yeah, like Leon said, I'll attest to that. And he is a great leader that you can have. And here we go with Atlanta ATL. Shout it.
Yeah, they just I got
Okongwu.
yeah, Onyeka Okongwu out of USC center,
Okay. Damn.
6'9", 245 pounds, mobile, quick and agile, has strength to go with it and leaping ability. Versatile defender, as you can see on the TV, that he played with the Ball brothers back in Chino
Hmm.
Hills, or I don't know where that
Yep.
picture's from, but I'm assuming it's
Hmm.
Chino Hills.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so too.
Good
They play.
footwork and inside game. Although is this the kid who got his foot injured,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about all that now.
Fractured
The
toe.
footwork and the inside game. The negatives on him is that he's an undersized center, awkward
Mhm.
ball handler, but he lives in the paint, but he has questionable upside. He's a lob catching, shot blocking center, according to ESPN. I compared him to Amir Johnson. And speaking of double, NBA Draft.net compares him to John Collins.
There you go. I
John
mean,
Collins.
that dude is, man. If y'all don't know about John Collins, y'all better do some researching and watch some video because that dude can ball.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Al, Detroit, you need a point guard. Get Killian. Let us get Obi. Let's get on this roll. Because if you pick anybody else, we going. I swear, I'm gonna go to Detroit City myself. Me and M might have a. I might snuff him.
Don't go to Detroit, man. It's dangerous. Don't do it.
I mean, man, listen. Hey, I got bulletproof vest. I mean, be up in there, bulletproof hat. 50 said. But come on, I think if they go on point guard and come on, Knicks fans, get excited, man. Please, Lord, help, give us this. Maybe we can get Rand. Maybe we can trade Randall or something and do that on draft night. Get some more. I'm being greedy right now, man. This never happens to me ever. I
No,
haven't.
they're sitting pretty. The Connects are sitting very pretty,
I,
and they have a guy that looks like he's under control over there in New York, and
this
all
is
they got to do is
crazy.
just shut the door behind them so James Dolan can't get in. And
Exactly. Lock it. Lock it.
yeah,
Lock that shit. But yeah, this is pretty awesome, man. It's everything's going right. But this is always the one pick away. And then I see Obi Topic come on the screen. I'm just gonna all right, guys, have a good night. Shut it down. Go to sleep. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, this is real interesting, man. These how this has transpired. What is this, Rock? Oh, actually, the trade with Trevor Reeves. Man, how many times he gonna get traded?
who Trevor
Yeah,
Ariza?
yeah. Like what?
As many times it takes, man. That way he'll
Damn.
learn.
Hey, it fits though. Detroit's all about defense and toughness. Not anymore.
Ariza's gonna get
He gonna
Ariza's
get.
gonna get bought out at some
Oh,
point, and he'll
absolutely.
go to a
Of course.
contender.
LA.
They're gonna flip him
Oh, of
at
course.
some point. Yeah,
Of
he's
course.
destined for LA.
Yeah, there you
Destined.
go. I mean, and going back on the Schroeder deal, I kind of missed that. I heard you guys talking, but I really like that deal for LA, man. Hey, they really needed that point guard. LA is just one of those teams that always gets their man. By hook or by crook, doesn't matter. They get their man, and now they replaced Rondo with the even younger player, and that can actually run the floor as well, a little bit better than Rondo. And hey, LeBron, LeBron Magic, I guess.
This
You,
is
you
an awesome
know,
moment right now. Who
um,
has mother son and on the
uh,
television right now? Go ahead.
Hmm.
Sorry.
uh, so a little bit what that Okongwu pick also tells me is that the Atlanta team is going to be real heavy in free agency, filling their
Hmm.
needs with veteran players, like we said before, Rondo, Gallinari. So they don't have to draft based on need because they can pick that need up in free agency and
Hmm.
get a high upside guy like a John Collins type if they
Hmm.
fail to re-up him in the offseason. So that Atlanta pick makes a lot of sense. A Kongwu isn't needed now, but it's good for the future.
Hmm.
Pistons are making a selection right now.
Come on. Come on, get Kelly and Hayes. Come on and do it. Come
There it
on
is.
with it.
Killian Hayes.
Damn,
Oui, oui, monsieur. Oui, oui, monsieur.
let's
Merci beaucoup.
come.
Killian Hayes out of France,
There it
point guard,
is.
6'5", 192. Strong frame and tools to defend. Good athlete, good scoring potential. Creative passer, experienced lefty. Negatives on him: not explosive, rattled by pressure defenses, a little sloppy with the ball and turnover prone. No right hand, lacks quickness, inconsistent defense, and takes a back seat with better athletes around him. So might be an issue with weak competition up in Europe, maybe. Uh, He's going to be a big playmaker according to ESPN. I compared him to D'Angelo Russell. NBADraft.net compared him to the only draftee from the 2003 draft to get a triple-double in his rookie season, Mr. Kirk Heinrich.
My guy.
Our guy.
Yes, sir. But wow, man. But yeah, Killian Hayes he's definitely a good one.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like him. He's just gotta improve on the shooting a little bit. He's quick. But yeah, U16 European Championship MVP, man. You got game to be doing that. He's a playmaker. Lefty, Leon loves his lefties, so you know what that is.
Phil Mickelson.
Oh yeah, but he reminds me of a smaller Kelly Oubre. He reminds me of him. Just the touch and everything. I like it. But yeah, Pistons, they feel a need. This is the first filling a need probably of the night when you think about it. Like actual filling of a need that. But yeah, I like this pick for them.
Well, you don't believe in Derrick Rose, man? What's wrong with you? Derrick Rose was.
I love me some Derrick Rose. I mean,
he plays for the city when he feels like it, you know.
Exactly. MVP, he don't gotta do nothing anymore. He's good. He already cemented that. He came home and won y'all MVP.
And then he went to Los Angeles and got another kind of MVP.
He got
emphasis on the word P.
Uh-huh.
Probably went somewhere Kelly.
Here we go. Here we go.
On him, without him, for him.
Now we gotta watch this. I know. X that out. Nobody came. Fizz gets.
But everybody came that night. I heard.
Oh, hey, he was the real MVP that night, man. I mean, he was like the king of Chicago kind of thing. He was sowing his royal oats.
You know, the best part about him is that his face has remained stoic throughout the whole match.
Always. Even when he hit the game-winning shot, I will never forget that.
Stoicism.
That was great. But then is Obi coming home? I mean, this is just like if they fuck his career up, I'm gonna be so upset.
I know you're big on Obi. I know a lot of Knicks fans are big on they were big on Hayes, high on Halliburton. Is there any pick that would surprise you?
Halliburton right now. I like, as much as I like him, I like that suit he has, and plus he has the Black Lives Matter thing. If when he opens it, you'll see it. It's pretty cool. But right now, you gotta go Obi, and then you get rid of Randall because this is best player available. This is when you pick best player available.
Yeah. According to ESPN rankings, actually, Denny Avdija is the best player available at number 4, but as a number 4th prospect on their list from last week. But right now, at number 6 is Obi Toppin. So
yeah, listen, Leon Rose is CAA. He's picking CAA, and trust me, we had Brody. You think what did Brody do? He turned the message to the New York CAAs. All right. That's exactly what he did, and they stick with their own. They will get their guys, and they will continue to do it. But it will shock. They're taking a little bit too long. But yeah, Halliburton. Would I be mad? No, Halliburton's a good 3D player, and I'm really hoping though that they can swing Randall right now. Maybe they pick him because they got a deal in place for Randall because Randall he would be a nice fit for the Wizards. He really would.
Okay. So let's say. They draft someone like Avdija, trade Randall in that 23rd pick with a 9th spot. You think Obi would be around for number 9?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's right after.
Get back-to-back picks.
That would be the Nick. That would be
down.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the gun smoke I'm talking about, Leon. That is the gun smoke. All right, that's what I like seeing. You come back around, you swing it, boom, boom, boom. Denny Obi. The Knicks are in business, man. They'll look a hell of a lot better. They might lose it from games, but they'll be exciting. Listen, I'm gonna keep as a Knicks fan. I'm not one of the we're gonna win it. No, listen, KD. What are me and Leon talking about? Oh, you think KD come? Hell no. You think Kyrie's coming? Hell no. You're gonna have to build from the draft, and you're gonna have to do that. That's the only.
Here's Adam Silver.
Don't tell me. Let me just.
There it is.
Don't tell me. Let me see if they're going. Let me sit back a little bit. Let me go get some alcohol. Let me get some alcohol.
I already saw it. I don't know how.
Let me get some alcohol.
You guys are on a long delay, I see, huh?
Yeah, a little bit, but let me get some alcohol just in case they don't pick a point guard. Something. Well, we do need. Hey, listen, play Frank, man. All-world defense. Let the kid grow. I want to see Lob City with him and Obi. Adam Silver, man, you messed me up. I'm gonna go upside your head.
Woo! Oh yeah, I forgot you guys are behind me. Sorry.
I saw it already.
Oh, you saw
There
it
it
already.
is. That's what I'm saying. He's coming home. He is coming home. That's I'm coming. Yes, sir, boy. There we go. That's the start. Look, I'll be crying too. Woo, shit.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. I don't know if he's crying because he's going to the Knicks or if he's crying because he got drafted, but
You
either
ain't
way,
shit. You
good
ain't
image
shit.
indeed. Obi, Obi Topin, sorry, power forward out of Dayton, 6'9", 220, fun, explosive dunker, versatile offensive game, can help protect the rim. This is why I wanted the Bulls to get him too, just for that. Limited defender, played center in college, so that's going to be a problem because his perimeter skills will get exposed in the NBA, according to the negatives here. And he gets pushed around. I mean, he's only 220 pounds, so he's going to be banging with the big bodies. But, hey, just eat some more protein shakes and bulk up, boy. Run and jump big with stretch skills. According to ESPN, I compared him to Aaron Gordon. NBA Draft.net compares him to Kenyon Martin.
I'll take that too. Kmart, man, it was nothing better than watching Kmart. That's when I actually watched a lot of net games. Kenyon Martin was there because he showed so much on the floor. Man, that dude, and you know he had a screw loose, but you always loved it because he didn't care. Like he was all up in your face. Every time he dunked, he showed his heart. I mean, that stuff like that I love. I love emotional players because they do so much for a team. And you talk about everybody from that Nets team. I think Kenyon Martin was like besides Jason Kidd was the most important. I mean, because he just double guy and man, I really can't believe it. This is pretty awesome. Hopefully, don't f it up.
Very
Now,
emotional night for Obi. As if you guys will eventually tell, emotional night for his family. I mean, he's at a loss for words right now. I don't know what he has he has like a tablet of someone watching. I don't know who that kid is on the tablet, but someone could tell me. I'm kind of curious because I don't have the volume up raised too much because of the audio. But I mean, like I said, I love seeing this stuff, man. I don't care that he's with the Knicks because I don't like the Knicks at all. But you can tell he's really excited to just get drafted. I guess he is excited to go to the Knicks after all.
Yeah, he's going home. Like it's something when you get to go home and play, man. Like that, like I said, Derrick Rose. I was hoping he went there because I love players going home to make an impact on their city. And as much as you don't like Derrick Rose, when he came into the league, you knew what that kid can do. And, like, come on,
I was always team Derrick Rose. There was a contingent in Chicago back in 2008 where they were talking about we got to get Michael Beasley. Like, why? Derrick Rose is there. No, Michael Beasley because we already got all these guards.
No.
But Derrick Rose is the guard. You got to get Derrick Rose. No, man, we got to get Michael Beasley because we need a big down low. And what we talked about, right? When you this is what happens when you sucker yourself into drafting for need as opposed to drafting for best player available. So there you go. I'm sorry, Leon, you were going to say something, man?
Go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, a little bit on Obi. You mentioned his defensive deficiencies. The Knicks have a bunch of players like that as far as Kevin Knox and R.J. Barrett.
That's true.
But they also have elite defensive players such as Frank and Mitchell Robinson. So they can hide them a little bit. The Knicks, you can't hide shooting.
Nah.
Either you have it or you don't. The Knicks needed this shooting. They needed someone with his athleticism and maybe someone who can push Kevin Knox to the pick that he was projected to be. So, I mean, I see no downside to what the Knicks did here.
And plus, it's plenty of shooters in this draft, and what they're moving up at. Now, I was thinking Isaiah Stewart, but now I think they go Bane or they go get a shooter. You got it. If they don't get a shooter, Leon, you hit the home run. You got the home run. Just keep adding on. Get yourself a shooter. Look a little bit better. But man, this is interesting, man. I would try to now. Going back to looking at Phoenix. Remember, we thought they would need a point guard. Now, where do they go? If I'm the Knicks, I get on the phone and be like, hey, get who you really want. Get a Nesmith in there. I mean, hey. What are you talking about?
Matt Bushnell is asking us if we're surprised that there have been no trades so far.
Actually, yeah. I
yes.
All this talk, yeah. I was expecting more, and it better not be one of those things where like 20 minutes or like an hour later, a trade has been made, and it's be involving the picks that were made like 3 hours ago, and I hope it's not one of those. But no, I'm surprised. Go ahead, Leon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I also think usually when those trades happen when you have info on these players, with the lack of workouts and physical presence, and with no March Madness, it's really hard to work off of. So you're just really coming in blind. You're really just going for a spot just to have it. Nobody knows what's going on. So I'm surprised, dude, because there's been a lot of activity in the past, but I'm not surprised because of the lack of information that's out there.
That's a good point. Wizards about to pick right now. What do you guys think?
I think they go Denny. That's BPA.
And
They got
you would be correct. Denny Avdija.
they got to, man. You get another playmaker for Beal, and while he comes back, man, that team is looking not sitting pretty kind of. I like that.
Well,
And that's a perfect place for him.
Yeah, fit, and literally he was the best player available right now. I mean, he was a number 4 ranked ESPN prospect as of last week, and here he is, Denny Avdija, small forward out of Israel, 6'9", 215 pounds. He has point forward skill set, gifted in the pick and roll, has intangibles, an intense defender. He's a try-hard guy, right? Because he lacks athleticism, but he makes up for it with intangibles and try-hard ability. But he's a bad shooter. I mean, if you're going to be a small forward in the NBA, you got to shoot. You got to shoot, man. There's a highlight of him shooting right there, but this is why they're highlights, because they're only showing the good stuff, right? He lacks an ISO game, which I guess is okay because, I mean, you got John Wall and Brad Beal with the ISO game.
You don't need to be ISO.
He'll be distributing, and he has no left hand though, so he's predictable in that regard. He's gonna be a big playmaker. I compared him to an old Thaddeus Young, and NBA Draft.net compared him to Hito Turkoglu. So whatever. I mean, we talked about it. It doesn't make any sense why Hito would be the comparison unless they truly believe that he will improve his shooting skills.
Yeah, I never seen Hito dunk on somebody like he just did in that clip, but I've never seen that. But yeah, I like this pick for them. They get younger. They needed to, and now they just gotta see if they can bring Bertans back, because he can set up for guys like that. Hit him on the wing with his vision. So
there's a lot to like on the Wizards, man. They got Thomas Bryant, Rui
I like him. Yes.
And then go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say this team is long and lanky. Bryant, Hachimura, Avdija. They're long and lanky. Wall was a one-speed guy.
I'll be right back.
The Wizards here are, I don't think they might contend for a 9-10 spot. They'll show some spurts just based on their star power, but I like this pick due to where their roster is going. If they happen to trade Wall or happen to trade Beal, this is a nice building block of Avdija and Hachimura to start from.
No, I mean, it makes sense. It really makes sense. I think the Wizards, and I'm doing something I promised myself I wouldn't do, and that's like give too much compliments to these guys, because not all of these guys are gonna hit. That's just the way it works in the NBA, right? Or in any draft, right? But it's really hard not to get excited with the potential, with the upside, with the seeing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? I mean, I'm looking at the roster right now with the Wizards, and it makes perfect sense that this Denny guy would go to Washington because he's just the perfect fit, ironically enough. And he ended up, like I said, he was the best player literally available according to ESPN's rankings from last weekend, which means that now Tyrese Halliburton is now the best player available according to the chart that we used last week, followed by Devin Vassell and Precious Achiuwa. But getting back to the Wizards, I mean, I can't hate on it as much as I'm kind of reluctant about Denny. I can't help but really like this pickup by the Wizards right now. Oh, and Jacobs.
I'm back.
I will ask you a question. your Felipe, your show, you do fantasy drafts all the time.
Yeah.
Now, the top five usually go, status quo. If anything falls, deviates from that, how explain it, what goes on, I guess, when the top five deviates from status quo, and it throws, I
Uh,
guess, throws everything off whack.
yeah, I mean, it's a great question because we recently talked about it a couple of weeks ago, Sean and I, and we had a guest from one of Sean's uh, followers or followees on Twitter, where I think the dude was talking about how he was just minding his own business in this mock draft, and Mike Trout falls to him. Supposedly the greatest uh, active outfielder player right now, right? Mike Trout. And two things, and we talked about it. He immediately, seconds after finding out that Mike Trout was available, he picks him up. A guy like me who's more analytical, who had I explained it, like if I see Mike Trout available at number 5, I'm wondering what the hell happened to Mike Trout. Why did he fall? Or
Hmm.
is there something that I did not research good enough, or was there something that I didn't account for the fact that Mike Trout dropped to number 5? And it does become a panic move, so to speak, because that wasn't supposed to happen. You do all these mock drafts, in your head and real person, and you do the simulations. And this whole time, Mike Trout was getting picked in the top 3, top 4,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden he goes to number 5. Yeah, some people, it just depends on it. Because listen, man, it's like we talk about on the show a lot. You could tell a lot about a person how the way they draft, right? The person how they draft in these fantasy, even though it's fantasy, they are kind of exposing themselves a little bit to everybody else as to who they are as human beings and how they think psychologically. And our guy Trevor, our guest, he fell on that like a Bears defense falls on fumbles. Like the old Lovie Smith teams. Stop laughing. like the old Lovie Smith teams, right? Like Brian Urlacher and Peanut Tillman just falling on it, like, oh, Mike Trout, he's mine. And then you got a guy like me who's like what the hell? Just why? You're flabbergasted. Like, why did he fall? Did I my projections not account for something? Is there like a statistic that I'm not aware of where Mike Trout is on a dip of his career and I'm not noticing it? Is he
Hmm.
now 35 years old and I miscalculated his age? So things like that start to roll in my head before I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go with Mike Trout, and because eventually it's gonna be the same result, right? Fuck it, I'm gonna get Mike
Yeah.
Trout, but you're
Hmm.
kind of like wondering why did I get Mike Trout as opposed to being excited for getting Mike Trout. You know what I mean? If it
Hmm.
makes any sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
And the Suns are about to select right now. So,
Hmm.
oh, wow. All right. Phoenix making big splashes. They got Chris Paul, and now they got Jalen Smith out of Maryland.
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick. He's he's a like lengthy kind of guy, tough, could block shots. I mean, they need some interior toughness there, and they got to get
The,
it from
o-
somewhere, right?
the only problem I have here is that he was ranked at number 19,
Oh, they reached.
according
They
to
reached. They reached.
unless they changed this week. But whatever. We'll go with what we used last week. But if they wanted a power forward, they could have gone with Precious Achiuwa
I like him.
or Sadiq Bey. But we're going, or even Alexei Pokusevsky from Serbia, who we had a little fun talking about him last week as well. But
Weiss.
Jalen Smith, power forward out of Maryland, 6'10", 225, good size for power forward, along with the length, can play center. So a little bit of versatility there. Good shooter, versatile on offense, rim protection, and good rebounder. The negatives, he's slow, limited on defense. He's a tweener, too slow to guard power forwards in the perimeter, and he's too small to guard centers. He's only 225 pounds. And he can't pass or create offense. So he's a little work in progress, but everybody's a work in progress in this draft, right?
Absolutely.
He's going to be projected to be a floor spacing, shot blocking big, according to ESPN. And we just talked about him, Liam Thomas Bryant. That's who I compared him to. This kid right here, Jalen Smith, is the next Thomas Bryant. NBADraft.net compares him to Taj Gibson.
That's not a bad career. I will take that. I mean,
Yeah.
you know about Taj more than a lot everybody else. I mean, tough guy. Another Brooklyn native. Um, They're bowling tough. No, but he was a leader on the floor. I love him, playing for the Knicks. That he's just that guy, that leader that you can go to, and he teaches you about the game. And hey, I would take that.
Oh, there's a shot right there, man. Oh, you gotta love that. Look at him go. He's on the table. They're crying his little eyes out. That's the big man crying, man. That's yeah. This is what I wait for every year, man. You gotta love the NBA draft. You gotta love it
Absolutely.
for those moments.
Oh yeah, because you get those. These kids work so hard in in their lives for this moment just to see it. Now this sucks as Knicks fans because this would have been well besides RJ because there ain't nobody who was booing him. But imagine the eruption when his name was free from the Knicks fans. The Knicks, they roll heavy in the draft. I mean, but imagine the eruption that would have had when they picked Obi. And it sucks because that's what they're missing. But they're with their families, and as his emotion just pours out, man, I feel for these kids because it's great for them. This is cool. Like you
Yeah, this is,
work your whole life for anything, and you finally get to that pinnacle where you want to be. That's it, man.
So
just laughing at the
we have
comments here.
now I barely know it, but we've reached the 90-minute mark here.
Mhm.
So I know Felipe, you have a show we discussed on Sunday mornings, Total Basis Podcast. You can catch that Sunday mornings, 11 o'clock, over in Baseball Life. Our good friend Matt Bushnell from the Audible and Football Life. Their next episode is on Friday with Week 11 preview. Dong City on Mondays, also in Baseball Life. We'll be back this Monday at 7 p.m. We're going to stop the recording here pretty soon for our audio and video platform. You can catch later on the YouTube channel by subscribing to the Life Group Podcast Network. But we'll keep this Facebook, the live feed going within the group here in the comments. You guys have any parting words for our audio feed?
If I may, man, tune in this Sunday to the Total Basis Podcast. So we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. We're going to bring in Melvin Lopez, who's doing a great job updating us with the Caribbean. I'm not the Caribbean League. It is a Caribbean League, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Winter Leagues. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. The Winter Leagues down in Mexico, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela. This is what I like about these groups, man. That there's always a niche that someone says, hey, you know what's not being covered? This right here. And when the pandemic happened, we had some of our Asian friends tell us about the Taiwanese league and all that. So it's this is what social media is about, right? It's not just talking shit about each other, but it's also informing us about stuff that we normally don't see. But Melvin's also, from what I gather, is a pretty good historian about the game as well. So that's why I brought him in for this upcoming Sunday to talk about the Hall of Fame. And there's a lot of guys who are probably not deserving to go next year, and there's a bunch of guys who are probably deserving, but with questionable marks and intents. And we'll discuss those issues on Sunday.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Absolutely. I'll be looking for it. I'll be tuning in. Give y'all shit, especially Sean. Nah, you guys do an excellent job. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing an excellent job.
Man.
As a first time dad, you're still killing it there. You're killing it on a podcast. That's what we're talking about. I mean, that life difference, man. We do everything.
Hey, man,
life.
A special shout out. It's on the record now. Kevin Durant said that his mom was the real MVP when he won the MVP. Well, right now my wife's the real MVP. Because I got another podcast to do that has nothing to do with the Life Group Podcast. I have another podcast on Saturday that I'm going to be recording with one of my friends. We're going to be talking about video games. So I'll be whenever that gets uploaded, I'll be putting a link up on the Pop Culture Life Group.
There you go.
So yeah, 3 podcasts, and I'm like an NBA player now. They do like the 3 games in 5 nights. I'm doing 3 podcasts and a number of days here upcoming. So my wife's a real MVP for allowing me to do this, and so she can just watch the baby on her lonesome. But yeah.
No, man, we really appreciate you coming on and your time. Be on the lookout in the group. I'm looking into starting up a fantasy basketball league for Yahoo or some other platform, but give more details on that later on. Be on the lookout for that, and come back at you next week before Thanksgiving, and free agency starts on Friday. So until next week, ball out.